Thanks, Lebs. And Smanga Shabangu is a visual artist student, and he recently dipped his toes in the literary pond with his debut book titled Broken Diamonds, Tales of My Carat Disposal Team. Now, this offering tells the story of a great adventure that follows three agents named Plankton, Pace and Phunther as they become the heroes who are supposed to carry out a mission with great courage of which only a true team is capable. To unpack this read further, let's now rope in Smanga Shabangu into this conversation. Smanga, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning to you, Simpio, and good morning to the viewers.
Tell us what really inspired you to write this book. What's it about?
This book is actually about getting rid of diamonds, a ring that was actually representative of a broken space I was in. But I then realized that I actually needed to move on after dealing with my brokenness. I needed to move on. But now, how do you dispose of broken diamonds? So I then created a fictional story with these three characters that are then able to carry out this mission of disposing these diamonds for me.
So it is based on a personal experience, right?
Yes, it's based on a personal experience. Okay. So it was pretty much just written out of pain from not being able to see my daughter as a result of that toxic space. So it then becomes just a fictional fun story, which I then used to actually escape the pain, but at the same time find healing for myself.
Have you found healing though?
Yes, I have. I think the most important thing was to first acknowledge that one was broken, and as a result from that I was able to then start building together. And as I was writing the book, actually that process of rebuilding back was happening.
Okay.
And it's actually reflected in the story as I write it, because I take the readers from that point of being broken to being unbroken. Yes.
Yeah, for purposes of understanding, the mission of this book, when you say that you found healing, is it in the form of forgiveness, or whatever issue that was there, it's been resolved?
It is actually in the form of forgiving oneself for having allowed oneself to be in a space where they eventually had to be broken. But the healing has actually, it's a continuous thing. You continue to find healing. It's not something that just you achieve and then it's finished, but it's just a continuous process of continue to grow within the healing.
Got you, got you. And the title is quite catchy. I mean, Broken Diamonds, Tales of My Carat Disposal Team. Why the reference, why the particular focus on diamonds?
The reason was because after being in that toxic space and I had done my own introspection, there was this lost thing which was left, which was this ring. Even though the diamonds were fine, they were okay, but I realized that I wanted it out of my life, I wanted it gone. Even though the diamonds were okay, they were not cracked or anything, but I just felt they still carried that toxic spirit. Sure. So in that sense, they were broken, even though they were shiny. So I had to now find this team to get, so hence the title Broken Diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Tales of My Carat Disposal Team is because I then have to, in the fictional story, I have to hire this intelligence agents, three of them, who then need to find a way to get rid of broken diamonds, because I've never known how to get rid of diamonds. Where do you even throw them away?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just mentioned these three agents. Just take us through how, their inclusion in the story and how their character develops.
Oh, yeah, no, I actually had fun writing this book. So you've got Agent Plankton Mtembu, who's actually the lead agent. Yeah. Then you've got his deputy, Agent Pace, and then you've got the third agent, which is Agent Phunther. So these are the intelligence agents, which are fictional characters, which I use to actually carry the story of getting rid of the diamonds. So it's set within an intelligence agency, and now I had to write myself in as one of the agents in order to call this favor from the agents, as I couldn't call it from outside the agency. So I had to create this fictional intelligence agency. So the agents, what a bunch, man. What a bunch. Yeah, so I just hope readers will definitely enjoy them.
And I see that you captured, the images that have been shared in this book. Just take us through these images, their meaning, their significance, and how they contribute to the storyline.
This book is actually dedicated to my daughter. So what I did was, as part of the writing, I also did some photography as part of the book. So where I had to actually find like small figurines to represent these agents. So even though it's a written book, but there's also a visual story to it. And the reason for that is because I just want to, there's also some interesting new technology that doesn't exist, which I included in the book. So the visuals will actually help carry that story.
Technology that doesn't exist?
Yes. I had to create, because it's an intelligence agency, so I had to really get creative with the intelligence technology. So I had to go outside of what is known generally,
Got you.
Yeah.
And you dedicate this book to your daughter, whom you say, inspired you to embark on this journey to get rid of your broken diamonds. It really is a touching subject. I mean, being separated from your daughter can be a parent's worst nightmare. So what is it that you want the readers to take away, especially readers who are in the same position as yours?
I think for me, especially dedicated fathers who are struggling to access their daughters, I've had that problem, and it's a very painful thing to be a dedicated father and do everything within the law, but still be denied access to your daughter.
Yes.
And this book primarily was actually written out of that pain, because I'd been denied my daughter for a third Christmas, and I had to find something to do to get away from that pain, because I realized I was beginning to struggle following the law up to the T, but still not getting access to your daughter. So I wrote and wrote just to escape the pain. And the more I wrote, the more I was able to deal with the fact that I can't see my daughter, even though I'm doing everything within the law. So I think for me, to every father, don't give up. It's very painful, and society isn't trained to acknowledge our tears as men. And it's very sore. Because it's like she's held hostage.
Right.
And it's like I've abandoned her.
And the fact that you feel helpless.
I feel helpless. So I wrote this book in hopes that I'll be able to find help to get to my daughter. Because it's not fair for her to live as if I've abandoned her. And there are a lot of fathers who are in similar positions, and I hope with this book I can raise enough, voices for us to get help as dedicated fathers who are suffering parental alienation.
Yeah, it's a very touchy subject, eh? And thank you so much for highlighting the very important issue of, you just highlighted there, and in the form of the storyline that you've just produced. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, that was a Sunday morning guest author, Smanga Shabangu, and we've been speaking to him about his new book titled Broken Diamonds.